Hello and welcome. Today I have another pen review video for you. This was kind of an impulse purchase. I saw it and I thought, well, the reviews kind of go back and forth depending on which color you get. So I got this one, this color. This is the Jinhao X450. And I got it in medium nib because I like shimmer ink, so I almost always do get medium or larger. If you do like shimmer inks and you have trouble with them behaving in the pens, try a larger nib size. That usually fixes the problem for me. However, it can also be the feed. It could be a lot of things. I don't know enough about pens to help you out beyond that. But this, I don't know if this is going to come through on video. It's a very dark pen, but underneath the surface, there's that red that shines through. And this is a very heavy pen compared to some of my other inexpensive pens. So it has some nice weight to it. It feels really good to hold this. It feels substantial. And that red just glows. It's just so pretty. So this is a very nice color. This looks way better in person than it did in the pictures. So I will definitely leave a link where I got this. I did get this on Amazon, so it'll be an Amazon affiliate link. And of course, those don't cost you anything extra, but they help me out if you use them. So if you could find it somewhere else and prefer to buy it there, that's fine. But anyways, there is a little bit of residue on this, I think from manufacturing or something that is, it's coming off, so it's not a big deal. I don't really care about that. All right, and so this, it pulls apart and it snaps. And I prefer these because sometimes when the ones that you unscrew, I find that sometimes this part will unscrew as well. And I'm going to see if it posts. Okay, so it does post, but I don't know if that's going to scratch up I'm assuming this is acrylic. And so I may or may not post this one. I don't know if I don't want it to get all scratched up. And then here is what the nib looks like. It's very pretty. It's two-tone, silver and gold. That's how it looks underneath. This grip section here has little ridges on there, I guess, to help you grip better. And as far as how it feels in the hand, it feels fine. Because the pen is so heavy, I don't feel like this is too light in the hand. And then posted, it does feel much heavier with the cap on. There's a significant change in the weight, so this cap does have quite a bit of weight to it. So it's just your preference if you prefer a lighter or heavier pen, but even by itself, it does have some heft to it. And then it came with a cartridge, which is here, and it's just one of these little plunger styles, a normal converter. I want to put a shimmer ink in here, and I noticed this does not have anything in here to accommodate, like to mix up the shimmer. Usually there'll be a little spring in here or a little like ball bearing or something. This does not have that. So what I might do is see if my other converters will fit this. I'll be right back. One moment. All right, I did find one, and this has, I don't know if you can see it in there, but there's like a little plastic or glass ball in there, and that just helps agitate the ink so it'll mix up. I'm going to just see if it'll fit. Make sure the sizes are the same. It looks about right. This is just a universal. Okay, so it feels like it's going on there pretty snug. Okay, let me try it with the original. Okay, this feels better. This feels like it's in there more snug. I think what it is that the outside is not as it's not fitting in there on the edges. It's able to wiggle around. Yeah, I don't know how I feel about that. All right. We might have to stick with the converter that it came with, sadly. But anyway, I'm going to use a shimmer ink anyway because I'm rebellious like that. All right, let's go ahead and pull the plunger all the way back. And this is just how I fill my pens. This is not the only way to fill a pen. I will find these little like plastic eyedropper things. And also you can use any kind of little ink filling thing you want. Since this is just a sample and not a bottle, like a full bottle of ink, I'm not worried about it. But anyways, you can fill this. I'm not worried about any kind of like debris or anything getting in the sample, because I will probably use the whole thing here. All right. Just tapping that to make sure it goes all the way down there. I can see a couple tiny air bubbles, which I'm sure are not a big deal, but I think I'm out of frame there. A little more ink. Whoops. Okay, I think it's about as full as I can get it without this going everywhere. Let's see if I can set this down somewhere. Okay. Put the lid on the sample first. And then we're going to stick this into the pen. All right. Now, the ink I'm putting in here is called Gilded Ivy. It's by Fountain Pen Revolution, and I wanted to try this out in a pen, and I think it'll be really pretty in here. I have not washed out this nib or cleaned it or done anything to it yet, which I probably should have done, but interesting. Now this won't. Okay, that's very interesting. One second. Okay, so this was not going back on. This is the body of the pen. There is a tiny hole, and you have to thread it in, and then it will fit. So if you have that problem, let me just show that. I think it was off screen there. When you go to put this on, it's not going to go. You have to find exactly the spot where it fits, and then the body of the pen will screw back on. So that's what that was. I was very confused. All right, so let's just test this really quick. I'm going to grab some paper, just a moment. All right, so set that aside. I'm going to see if this will write. I did not push the ink all the way through. I think there's a tiny drop of water in here. Let me see. So normally I would just have to wait with this kind of pointed down, but since this is a shimmer ink, I don't like to leave them point down unless I'm writing with them. Let me just push some more ink up. So you can just turn the bottom of the converter here until you see ink coming up to the top into the feed. And you just get about as much as you think you want. Put the pen back together. And then I usually wait a couple seconds and then try writing again. And at some point the ink will come out. I'm going to pause this, get the ink going, and I'll be right back. All right, I'm back. It took a couple of minutes. I just put a little more ink in, with the converter, twisted it around a little bit more. Now we got the ink going. So now that the ink's coming out, I will say this does write very smoothly. It's very, very nice. It feels nice to write with, no problems there at all. And this was a very inexpensive pen. So this is perfect if you just want to try out a fountain pen and you don't want to spend a lot of money. This is an ideal pen for that. I can say that it's writing very well. I don't see it leaking or anything yet. Now I have only been using it for, about a minute. So it is laying down a good amount of ink, which I like. I like to see a lot of ink because I tend to use a lot of shading inks, which is another reason why I get a medium nib. This is HP 32 paper. So this is basically copy paper, but it's a little smoother. And now that the ink is starting to dry, you can see a little bit of that gold shimmer. I don't know if the camera will pick it up, but there's a little bit. This ink has a very fine gold shimmer to it. It's not way out there and crazy. It's just subtle and it's very nice. Yeah, it's very, very pretty. So this is handling the shimmer just fine so far. I know I've only been using it for a minute or two, but yeah, this is a really nice pen, especially with how nice it looks. And then I'll try writing with it posted, with the cap posted. And that feels great also. No complaints, no problems. I don't have problems with heavier pens anyway. If you do not like a heavy pen, then just don't post the cap. Yeah, this is a beautiful pen. I really hope that shimmer is coming through. It's so pretty. And then this is the Gilded IV ink from Fountain Pen Revolution. So I'll leave links to everything down below. If you enjoyed this content and you want to see more reviews and things, just like and subscribe so you don't miss out on anything. And also, please leave me a comment of anything you'd like to see. If I have it or if I can get it, then we'll make a review video for it. And thank you so much for watching. You have a great day.